Hello, beloved brethren. I'm going to put two videos in the description box. One is this one of nurses and doctors who look like pigs holding a woman captive. That woman represents God's woman, Jesus' bride, and these are the ones that are the shadow people. They are in the shadows, it says, and they have a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit. And it shows them once the woman comes out, they were telling the woman that she's ugly, that she's, all these things. And then when she has bandages on her, and when they take the bandages off, she finds she's not ugly, she's actually beautiful. And those that were in the shadows were doctors and nurses, and when she sees what their faces are, they are like pigs, like swine. And when she sees them, she's horrified, and they want to give her a shot, vaccination. When she finds out who they are and who their king is, and it's a black man, a man dressed in black, not color black, and he is trying to control her, and his swine are doing his will, and that man represents the devil. And so you see, we have a lot of things happening with the policies and exactly what they program, because they do subliminal messaging. It's a very powerful way of mind controlling people, and the Lord is showing us that these are the wicked. And in fact, is another Twilight Zone movie. They're showing you what they're doing is a man with the mark of the beast in his forehead. Now this mark of the beast in the forehead, and this is on Twilight Zone. I know it sounds funny, but this is in the scriptures too. Jesus cast off of a man a legion of demons onto swine. So these are pigs. And Jesus said that the man was of Israel, which represents the woman, the virgins, and he cast those demons off of that man onto the swine, and the swine ran over a cliff and died into the sea and died. Now, God said that if anyone touches anything unclean, that he had taken and he had dug out a wine press around, put in there, and to be held for a time. And Jesus took the thorns on his head, and he took the spear in his side. So there's no reason why God's woman should be surrounded by the gods of Egypt or their gods, which that forehead eye is in the scriptures, and that's basically what Pharaoh was like. Okay, they're from another place. It's in this video. They're not. We know that the wandering stars are planets. They left their first estate, the angels, which came down, and they have all kinds of creatures, all kinds of creepy things. Remember, Jesus talked about in the scriptures, you can see where a priest had his back towards God, and he was doing all sorts of wicked abominations. And we see that in the book of Revelation, the abomination that causes desolate. So you see, these are the kings of the earth, the mighty men, the merchant men, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And then there is another person with this man who has multiple arms, and that represents the way that they have their hand in everything in the whole earth to deceive, to make merchandise of God's people, to get rule over his woman. And God, in the end, just like Elijah's time, they will be like hay and stubble burnt up when God, his fire falls down around us, because the wicked encamped around us like Gog and Magog, encamped around us, and fire falls down from heaven, it says in the book of Revelation, of Jesus Christ, and devours all of our enemies. In the same way, Elijah had the fire come down from heaven and burn up, and the false prophets didn't believe that that was going to happen, but we know that it will, because God, what he says is going to happen is going to happen. All right, beloved, agape love to you.